Hello everybody! If you want all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you! The idea for this story was suggested by someone on www.freefortalk.com, a language practice community. Short story 812, The Night of the Naughty Gnomes, Upper Beginner. Every day, Mrs. Green kept her garden neat and tidy. She had 10 little stone gnomes standing in a row beside her flower pots. In the daytime, they looked quiet and cute. But at night, when everything became dark, the gnomes came alive. One night, as the clock struck midnight, the first gnome moved his tiny foot. Then the second gnome blinked his eyes. Soon, all 10 gnomes were awake. They grinned at each other with wicked smiles. "Come on," said the tallest gnome. "It is time for some fun." The gnomes ran across the garden. One climbed into the birdbath and splashed water everywhere. Another gnome pulled up Mrs. Green's carrots and threw them like little orange rockets. 2 gnomes opened the garden gate and let a stray cat wander in. The cat meowed loudly and chased them in circles, but the gnomes only laughed. Inside the house, Mrs. Green heard strange noises, but she thought it was just the wind. Outside, the gnomes pushed over a watering can, pulled the washing off the line, and even painted moustaches on the garden statues. Just before sunrise, they hurried back to their places. They froze into stone again, looking sweet and innocent. In the morning, Mrs. Green walked into the garden and gasped. Mud was everywhere. Carrots were missing. Her washing was on the ground. She could not understand it. Finally, she looked closely at her gnomes. Their little painted faces were messy. Their hands were covered in dirt. For the first time, she saw tiny footprints around them. Mrs. Green crossed her arms. "Right," she said firmly. "Playtime is over." That evening, she locked all the gnomes inside her shed. From that night on, the garden stayed peaceful, and the naughty gnomes never caused havoc again. If you learned a new word today, please make sure to subscribe so you can practice again next time. Vocabulary notes. Mischievous, meaning if someone or something is mischievous, they enjoy causing small trouble or playing naughty tricks. Example, they grinned at each other with wicked smiles, ready for mischievous fun. Similar words, naughty, playful, cheeky, tricky. Extra example, the mischievous child hid his sister's shoes under the sofa. Havoc, meaning havoc means a lot of disorder, mess or damage. Example, the naughty gnomes never caused havoc again. Similar words, chaos, mess, trouble, disorder. Extra example, the heavy storm caused havoc in the town. Stray, meaning a stray animal is one that has no home and wanders around alone. Example, 2 gnomes opened the garden gate and let a stray cat wander in. Similar words, wandering, lost, homeless. Extra example, a stray dog followed us down the street. Gasped, meaning gasped means to suddenly breathe in quickly, usually because of shock or surprise. Example, Mrs. Green walked into the garden and gasped. Similar words, inhaled sharply, drew in breath, let out a sharp breath. Extra example, he gasped when he saw how much the repairs would cost. Peaceful, meaning peaceful describes a place or a situation that is quiet, calm and without problems. Example, from that night on, the garden stayed peaceful. Similar words, calm, quiet, still, restful. Extra example, the village was peaceful early in the morning. Story written by ChatGPT, image created by ChatGPT. To read, see all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, Drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.